Steve, you jump in if I start getting lost in the
I
sauce.
I got you.
Yeah.
I've never heard that, but you know that's the origin of CAP. I'm going to look this up. I'm going to look.
There's principles that
Right.
we have to follow.
Yeah.
We have to have.
You know, be true to yourself. You know, you don't have.
And when I came back, the place was a mess. So I knew I was missed.
Deep in here now. Now
It's
deep.
incredible. I love it.
Me
That's
too.
good.
Yeah.
That's good.
And, and applying the recovery, I thought. What's up, everybody out there on planet Earth? It's your favorite recovery Martian. I'm already slipping up. Out there, whatever. Let's start all over.
Go right ahead.
Let's go right ahead. What's up, everybody out there on planet Earth? It's your favorite recovery Martian back here at Recovery Central, 2300 Dumbarton Avenue, McShin Foundation, trying to get some good content out for y'all today, man. I'm joined by a special guest, man. I had a conflicting schedule, but I wanted to come in for this. She's been biting at the bit to get on here and give out her good message. She's got some good things coming down the pipeline. I'm going to let her introduce herself. She's associated with a program, and this is where cross-pollination comes into play a little bit in the neighborhood. They work closely with us, man. They have a lot of events for people new in recovery and people in their recovery journey. They got a good kind of outreach program going on, and I love Marty. Marty's over there, and Marty always has like a good group of interns, and this young lady, Jade, she was one of those, man. She comes in here, she does groups, fire groups, like our participants love her groups. And we were talking a little bit last week, and she had some like good, inspiring ideas for her own community, which is a kind of under serviced and underreached for recovery purposes community, and she has a desire to do those things. So when she was talking about it, in my mind, I was like, "Ooh, let's get the message out there, at least to our 1 or 2 viewers." You know,
all three of
them. So as always, I'm joined by engineer Steve.
Hello there, everybody.
Steve, the man of many words, and also over here in the back, we got a little gallery. We got our fanboys over here. We got our fanboys out here. We got Ian and Corey.
Live studio audience.
You know, here to see the superstar. That would be Steve and myself and Jade. Watch the magic happen. So Jade, tell us a little bit about yourself. Introduce yourself and tell us, you know, the organization you're associated with and what you're kind of doing out here in the community, what you're learning.
Yeah, so I'm Jade. I am from like Halifax County, Charlotte County, Virginia. We don't really have a lot of recovery options out there. I grew up, you know, with my grandmother, my mom's mom, who was in active AA and NA groups, and that's all I saw. So coming in here, I was like, this is a whole different ball game. And like hearing my mom talk about, you know, having to come to the Richmond area to get recovery, and other people in my family and her circle having to like travel, and also hearing people here talk about having to come from all different parts of the country just to get like a good recovery community and help. It really made me think, like, going through college as a psychology student, I am getting the knowledge that I need to be able to create some of these programs, or at least help other people create them. And my mom has brought up several times, you know, how underprivileged people are in the jail when it comes to recovery stuff. Her being in Piedmont for a short period of time, she was like, we didn't even have so much as a library cart coming around. And she was just like, it was so lonely. Like, it makes you ready to get out to go back to addiction. Like, it puts you in that place. And now, like, I have heard a lot of really great things, like new stuff being implemented in Piedmont, but we really want to bring more. And that's like my biggest goal, is to just do more, whether it's specifically for the recovery community or more so for people like me, like Al-Anon, or family members, people affected by addiction. I just want to do something.
Oh yeah. And I can almost, for myself, but we're going to break it down for the viewers a little bit. And so let's just, we're going to back up just a little bit. So you had a family member that needed some recovery and had to go a long distance. That would be your mom. Yeah. She came through the McShin Foundation, if I'm correct, right? Mm-hmm. And so that was your introduction. Now, like, statistically, And they say, 63% of people on planet Earth, or it could be America, but I would assume planet Earth, know or are directed by a substance abuse disorder, right?
Mhm.
And so, that's how you got your introduction. You had a family member that was directly, so you have a desire for recovery going in. And if I'm right, it sounds like this would be kind of a decision-making process on what your education was going to be on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So currently you're a student at
VCU.
and you're taking.
I'm taking psychology courses with I also have a business minor. So if I wanted to open my own practice, I have that financial background.
Oh yeah, you always got to have some financial background. I need some financial background.
Yeah, me too.
You
Me
need
too.
some too?
Yeah.
What do you got? Some background and some foreground and some
A
sideground.
background instead of a history. How
I'm
about
just
that?
some finances, period.
Yes.
Can you help out? You got
I could help a little bit.
Yeah. So you've seen kind of like the struggles that your mom had to go through just in an attempt to find recovery.
Mhm.
And now I can say this, just being in the recovery field now, that and then actively looking for recovery like most of my life in some form or fashion, or some kind of help, that it has grown.
Mhm.
And I believe that probably the reason for that is somebody like yourself having an idea, or somebody that's been through it. So now you're trying to take the ideas. Tell me kind of like how you got attached to In the Neighborhood.
My mom met Marty here at McShin, actually, right downstairs next to the front desk, and they just connected instantly. And she helped my mom go through her recovery journey, actually testified for my mom in her custody battle court case, and really educated some social service workers on Suboxone and stuff like that. So she's really proud of that one.
Hey, look, Marty, if you end up watching, shout out to Marty and what she does in the community. If you've been around the Richmond recovery community, you probably heard or have met Marty. I love that she did as part of In the Neighborhood, and I think out of her house she used to cook huge meals, and people would come over and they would have the Bible study and recovery related stuff.
I've stayed the night at Marty's house.
I mean, how awesome and welcoming somebody in recovery and wanting to share that passion with others. And so as part of her organization, so I would assume that while you were in, taking your college courses, and because of the connection that your mother had with her, what did an internship possibility, or did you have to do some kind of internship? Or
I didn't necessarily have to, but I wanted that experience for myself and to further my education as well. But it was kind of a coincidence that I went to Marty, me and one of her other interns that happens to be my roommate, Aaliyah. We went to go donate clothes to Marty and some stuff for Mardi Bras, and popped by the church and talked to her for a few minutes. And Aaliyah at the time was looking for an internship in the psychology field. And we did Galentine's Day with Marty, and I come to one or two groups at here and at Imagine the Freedom. And then I just fell in love with it. And I was like, this is something I want to do weekly now.
Yeah. And I kind of like the way you put it, that it was a coincidence. Me, myself, I believe there are none. And everything happens for a reason. And apparently that this is growing into something that could be something special for your community. So just as a kind of a contrast, you're in school and you're taking psychology and the things that you're learning about human nature and the human mind. What comparatively have you learned just interning with Marty about humans and addiction and substance abuse disorder?
I feel not to down school to anybody.
Here we go. Let's down them.
Yeah, let's do it.
I think I've learned so much more about, I won't say psychology as a whole, but specifically about the addiction community, depression, anxiety, just general things that people in recovery experience, more so than I've learned at school. I had one professor, I think it was sophomore year, talking about methadone and Suboxone during a class, and she was like, Suboxone is harmful and it's really bad, and people really shouldn't take it. And me knowing people who do take Suboxone, I stood up, not even raised my hand. I stood up and I was like, please educate yourself a little bit better on what Suboxone actually is.
Yeah.
And, understand it before you're sitting here telling a group of people who may know people who suffer with substance abuse disorder and do take Suboxone in order to just get by with life. And I feel like it's a lot of stigmatisms and stuff, especially with like professors and things who haven't really been out and experienced it or even practiced as a therapist. They're just teaching what they learned in school.
Yeah, they're just giving an opinion or something. You like, that's interesting, right, Steve? Because it's you can learn stuff from a book, you know.
But you come here and you see that
yeah,
MAT may have saved somebody's life till they can get off of that MAT.
yeah, as a
Mhm.
harm reduction tool. And then like psychology, you can read about depression and you can read about anxiety, but
Mhm.
when you see the manifestation of it in a person's life and what they're going through and the things that might have led to it or caused it and the underlying issues and all these things that we as people in recovery address through our recovery journey and how we do it, and some of the things we need, even that being MAT in some cases. And I'm always for anything that will save a person's life,
Absolutely.
right. And we can all say that MAT has done that for a lot of people. I know there's times in my life where I've used MAT, and going in, and just from my point of view, knowing what I know now and seeing what I've seen there, I wish I would have had the knowledge of MAT, the medical side, and the recovery and spiritual side to go with it, like married as one. And how much more successful I could have maybe been with that kind of knowledge, Yeah. So I agree with you. And this is why, and I don't know if you feel this way about it too, Jade. It sounds like you do. Such the value of these organizations, McShin is one of them, and In the Neighborhood is one of them. And there's probably many other, I'm not trying to leave anybody out, that offer internships, because I just hearing you speak right there and just the valuable knowledge that you had, not in direct opposition, but furthered on than what your professors had, just from an internship. So, shout out to Marty, shout out to McShin for their internship programs, so people can gain some of this good knowledge to, in the attempts. And what we're going to get to with you is helping the next person out, as a fully knowledgeable, all angles, representative of recovery. So I love that. So your mom came through, she's doing stuff in recovery because obviously she has a desire to help the next person out, and because she knows how valuable the services were to her. You seeing that gave you a desire to help the next person out, to maybe try to subside some of the struggles that she had to go to get in, but she got connected, thank God she did find some connections, and you want to make that more an easier transition from somebody looking for services, a little bit easier of a connection, right? And so so you're about to complete your internship.
Yeah, sadly leaving.
I know, man. Yeah. I know, because you feel a great group. So let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, what's
too.
The next step?
Yeah, we're going to talk about the next step, and I also want to talk about from In the Neighborhood, and Marty, they come and hold a group here, and then Jade. I think I had seen her once with Marty or something. I'd never talked to her or met her, and she came up with her little country accent and everything like that. And hey, a little Southern Bill. I'd like to do a group. She put her foot forward and wanting to spread some of the knowledge that she had, and just the association with Marty and seeing her around the halls. I thought there'd be a great fit. So you've been coming up and you've been doing groups with the males and the females. Tell us a little bit about that experience.
I try to start just about every group or end it with telling them how much they have helped me, because they are always like, I have people coming up to me and stuff being like, thank you so much, that was such a good group. And after like the second group of doing it, I'm like, I need to let these people know like how much they have helped me as an individual with my own mental health growth, my schooling growth, just my general knowledge of people and like how they work. And it's really been like a beautiful experience. I love hearing everybody's stories. I do really enjoy, I love a big group where we have lots of participation, but I think I slightly more enjoy the little smaller, more intimate groups where it's just like either males or females, and we're able to play like Jeopardy and stuff. I know a lot of the guys liked Jeopardy. just any like little small things, and then getting their feedback and stuff like that. And I'm like, be harsh. And they're just like, no, you had a great group. And I'm like, you can give me a little criticism.
Yeah, some constructive criticism. I like when everybody boosts my
Mhm.
ego up. What about you, Steve?
I don't
That-
mind it.
That was the best group I ever had. Nobody can do it better. Yeah,
It
you're right
fires
about
you up
that.
for the next time. you know?
That's right. Yeah. But yeah, I've got nothing but positive feedback from your groups. Also, not that I'm checking in on you. I do like that one thing you did say. You like it better, kind of like when they're separated, so so they can concentrate. We were talking a little
Yeah.
bit off camera about some of that stuff too.
Mhm.
And I understand that too, so we can keep our focus on recovery and what we need to be doing here. So that just brings to mind. Sorry, I'm not going to go on a tirade, but I'm going to go a little bit.
Run with it.
Yeah, I mean, it comes up like the gifts of recovery,
Yes.
So after, and what a hopeful story for anybody that's out there listening. Her mom at some point was in active addiction. I can relate to that, identify that 100%. I was kind of in the same situation. Well, was in the same situation. Like, I understand like the feelings and the despair and the ups and downs that go with having a parent and active addiction. I haven't found recovery yet. Her mom takes a stand, like, I'm gonna find some recovery. And it sounds like, just listening to you and going into some of the ideas we're about to get into, man, recovery has gifted your family with an opportunity for you and your mom to like repair relationships and have a relationship. And then also to do that and then kind of start like coming together in the fight to get services to your underserved community, man.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing.
That's what I'm hearing is we've heard this from some other interns that have had contact with this place, that they find the courage to come do something about it instead of just be affected by it.
Yeah, that's right. Like when you get into the fight, I'm doing a recovery coach training over at the jail right now. And one thing that always is so anybody that, even if it's just one person that takes an interest in it, it's another person on the side fighting for the light side, right? I knew in my active addiction, I was fighting on the dark side for so long. And you never know that one thing that somebody can hear, even in your groups playing Jeopardy or something like that, just their attention drawn enough that would spark the light or the desire in them to be on the light side, trying to help the next person find their way out of that dark tunnel. So like, I love it. So any group that you do on recovery or is recovery related is aces to me. I just had like a small moment of deja vu. That's weird. All right, I'm gonna keep it moving.
It happens.
So I know we got a little bit of time constraints, and I'm sorry for that. And I hope that what we said so far is resonating and it's going to go into what we're about to talk about now. And let me see if I can guide it in there, right? So you come through, you do the, you got your schooling, which is very important. We're not trying to downplay that at all, because you got the knowledge, and most of all, it's going to give you like a piece of paper that says that I committed to this, and I have this certain amount of knowledge about something.
Yeah. And it wasn't cheap.
It wasn't cheap.
Oh,
You
no.
paid for that paper.
Yeah.
And then you came and you interned on your own volition, in the attempts to get more knowledge about the field and the craft and the direction that you want to take your life. And it sounds like your mother and you are like lockstep with this, trying to reach the judicial population, and then also the sick and suffering and persons still maybe that ain't, or trying to seek services in your community. So you have that knowledge too. So now, boom, the brain is getting filled up there. You know what I mean? So now you personally want to take this knowledge, you and your mother, and which community, and what do you want to do?
The hope is to be able to bring it to like Charlotte County, Prince Edward County area. She lives in Prince Edward. I'm going to be living in Charlotte County when I move back, but we're still only like 20 minutes apart. We're both still trying to finish our degrees. My mom, the strong, wonderful woman she is, has went back to school and got her like straight through. She does fall, spring, summer, and winter term classes. And she's done like 6-8 semesters of that. I don't know how she does it, because I need a break. And so she's trying to finish up her degree, and I'm going to get this wrong. I always say the wrong thing. It's like human services, stuff like that. And then I'm getting the psychology. We're both hopefully going on to get our masters, but we're hoping in that time frame between masters to get a program up and running at Piedmont. Our plan is she wants to work with men and women, but she knows sometimes, like, a woman going in trying to work with men can be a little bit on the harder side, like getting in there. So we really want to prepare people for life post jail.
Yeah.
Because some people have been in there for a long time, or, they've been in and out and not really experienced life. And even hearing people here fresh out talking about, they don't know how to use new things on a computer, or like navigating everything being online now, from job applications to scheduling doctor's appointments and
Yeah.
insurance related stuff. It's, something that I have to learn every day, and they're just not getting access to it. So we want to do like a reacclimation program, not only for like life skills, but recovery skills post jail and prison.
Yeah, both together. So
Mhm.
both the desire is in the reentry services. I
Mhm.
love it, man. I support that 100%. What
That's
about
awesome.
you,
A
Steve?
lot of need for that. We see a lot of people that get
Dude,
freshly released and they're really struggling.
yeah, we're in the same fight. I mean, coming down to just bringing that knowledge to them, whatever it takes to give somebody a leg up and a smooth transition and an introduction to recovery. Yeah, that's all positive. We do the same thing here at McShin. We try to focus, fine tune, get better. Deal with a lot of people that are judicially involved, coming out, been in it for a while, never been introduced to recovery, the challenges that are involved with that. At least it's exciting trying to help the next person out. Yeah, and I like the way you made a total like conscious view of the like the bigger picture of what one might need and the tools that they might need, and to make their transition back into society or into recovery a little more smooth, and set an individual up for success.
Yeah.
Because I know that mentality of just coming out also and not having any tools, any resources, any knowledge about anything. And particularly in my case, and a lot of people's cases that I know that suffer from substance abuse disorder, you start facing that little bit of adversity with no recovery or no knowledge or no resources. It's very easy to slip back into what you know. Because we know, I mean, everybody can say here that change in any form or fashion can be intimidating and hard and a scary thing to do, and that you and your mother want to take boots on the ground right to where like there's a fresh soil and people that need these services. Like I support that 100%, and I wish y'all all y'all's luck, all the luck I can wish, and y'all's fight to accomplish this. Yeah. So Jade, great interview. I love it. Thank you for taking the time to come up here and share with our viewers. And you want to know something? Somebody in Piedmont or other places of incarceration are going to see this eventually. And so, because that's like our main viewership is the judicially involved population. So one day when they're looking on their tablet, because this lasts forever, because we're in the ether right now. I mean, this thing is never going to, it's
like hieroglyphics.
It's going to be somewhere. So yeah. Archaeologists 1,000 years from now,
they'll find it.
Are going to be digging up a data site somewhere, and wherever YouTube has it buried under the sea or something like that. And then they're going to eventually, like they found the, Tyrannosaurus Rex bone, they're going to find this podcast right here. And, at that time, hopefully we have evolved into a different species, and we don't incarcerate people for substance abuse anymore.
It may help them face the challenges they face.
But if they still do, and they still are, and for the people that currently are either incarcerated or out there sick and suffering, do you have any words, some words of like inspiration, hope? Anything like that, give it to us.
Putting me on the spot here, and we just did
there's no other way, and there's no other way to do it.
We just went through some really powerful quotes in the meeting too, and I've just got like all of them going through my brain.
I always default to Abraham Lincoln when I'm in these situations, but you can go whichever way you want.
I don't know. I think for me, it's just like having someone come out of it. I was never that person who was embarrassed of my mom. I think that her story shows so much power and willingness to be better and do better. So for me, just like, don't let anybody else's opinions and stigmatisms and stereotypes around being incarcerated and substance abuse disorder affect who you allow yourself to become. Because like we said in group today, like you are only going to become the person you allow yourself to be, that you fight for. So if you want to be somebody that people can look up to, or you just want to be somebody who helps others, fight for that right to do it, because you're the only person holding you back.
That was good. She
Yeah,
acted
that-
like she didn't
I
know.
was like, oh, I don't have anything to say.
Yeah.
And then bam.
Yeah, listen, I couldn't have said it better myself. Look, don't have no shame.
Right.
You know, we've all come short. We've all had failings. You know, don't let it keep you out there. You know, don't believe the story that others are writing about you or the one that's been yours up until now. You can rewrite these things, man. A little bit of recovery, a little bit of resources, a little bit of different decision making concerning your life. And you're none of these things that stigmatically describe you at this point. You're not a dope fiend. You're not a junkie. You're somebody's mother. You're somebody's son. You're somebody's daughter. You know, you inherently, you can find these good qualities about yourself through a little bit of resources and recovery and a little bit of want to change. Good words. I couldn't have said it myself.
Excellent.
And you could go and you never know what you could come. You never know the lives that you could save in the ripple effect of recovery, just by deciding to reach out or to make a change. Yeah, don't let shame keep you out there. I couldn't have beautifully said, Jade. Well, I love it to anybody out there that's watching us, man. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Corey and Ian for joining us today and sitting in on and supporting the podcast. You know, I love when we get a little bit of support, Steve.
It's awesome.
Don't you love when we get
It's
support?
awesome.
Don't you love it? Yeah. To any staff member that might be watching this, it only takes a second to hit that like button, you know, share it, you know, all that. Let's get the message of in the neighborhood and of Jade and her mother going into Piedmont jail, trying to start their reentry services. I love it, Jade. Thank you for your last parting words. Eloquently said, eloquently. I wish I had that flow like that, very educated flow, very, you know, very, very free flowing words of wisdom.
Well spent money on that education.
Well spent money for that.
I know, just for that.
Just if you paid just for those words of inspiration, then you got your money's worth out there. Great school.
Sure.
Great school. All right. All right, Jade. And thank you for joining us. And as always, just as the way we end the show right now, we're going to throw those two fingers up in the air and say peace.